Good morning everybody, my name is Osa and we are playing Farming Sim 19 on Oakfield Farm. Oops. And I need to move this out of the way because it's about time we service all of our equipment, or at least some of it. How does this one look? This one looks fine. So fully refueled, fully maintained. Stick it in the shed for a few days. Actually, before we do that, we could plant some winter stuff. I do know I want something up on the back field. Let's go grab the cultivator with this and let's get some farm work going on. So, it is Halloween Day, and looking at the time of year, it's probably Halloween Day-ish in game 2. Okay, I think the cultivator might be at the top yard. So we'll head on up there and do some stuff. Good morning long hauler, good morning mail team. Welcome to the stream, and yes, I am 4 minutes early. Actually a bit more than 4 days early, or 4 minutes early. I have been puttering around, figuring out if I need to add any mods to my download list. I have added the Class Zarian 3000 saddle track, just in case we decide to go that route. It does have a, I was looking at this, it does, not crop protection, slurry tanks, it does have its own slurry tank system, but it's freakishly expensive and it doesn't tell me how much slurry I can put in there. So I don't know if that's an improvement to what we're already running. Oh, but we will need to do some. Ooh, that's a good question. I mean, I'm not going to be able to get any baling footage myself, so you'll need to get some, and we'll figure out some way to send it to me. We're both on Discord, so we can PM there. Okay, where am I going? I'm going up to the very top field. Oh, okay, well that's good to know. As it is, I'm not planning to buy it because it's a very expensive system, but we might look at it in the future. I do have the regular class Zarian 3000 mod on the list, so if I want to go for a not quite super huge Zarian 4000, 5000, I can go with the 3. Okay, so this field is going to be sugar beets, so we're going to have a lot of sugar beets next year, but not as much as we had this year. And this one over here is going to be something. I'm going to need to jump out and check. I believe I'm throwing canola in this one. Oilseed cereal. So previous was cereal, yeah. So this is going to be canola field when we get around to planting it. But I've got to cultivate it, put the slurry down, and then we can go with planting. In fact, since all of the fields are now covered with oilseed radish, I can plant any of them that I want to. Oh, that's cool. That's nice. So I heard last night and got confirmation from my mother this morning that the UK is planning to lock down for 4 weeks. Complete lockdown. Which is kind of a bad thing, I think. But I have a suspicion that in part it's because the government pays for hospitals, and hospitals are woefully inadequate for emergencies in the UK. If you want a hip replacement, it's scheduled out 2, 3, 4 years. So, because they don't have the beds and the doctors to do it with. So yeah, your health insurance is free, but it happens when it happens. It's not particularly quick. If there's a major pile-up, obviously they have lots of hands on deck that they can call, but for something like COVID-19, they have woefully inadequate capabilities. And because of the spike now, they just want everybody to stay indoors for an entire month. And it's shopping season, so they're supposed to be announcing it on Monday. Now I don't know if it takes effect immediately on Monday or whether it's on Wednesday this week everybody's going to be locked in or something like that. I know our governor used to do that. It was sort of, yeah, we're going to let contractors go back to work on Friday next week, and it's sort of, why Friday next week? What's changing between now and Friday next week? With no real logical explanation of that. But so, as I said, I don't know whether they're locking down Monday or whether they're locking down. Announcement is on Monday with a future date for the actual lockdown to take effect. But it's no going out, no going on vacation, no sitting in the park in the sun. Not that there's a lot of sun this time of year, it's usually fairly wet. And all that entails. But small business is warning that you close us down for 4 weeks and there isn't going to be small business in the UK. Because you're compressing the entirety of summer, the entirety of Christmas shopping into 3 weeks. And I think a lot of people will probably do their shopping on Amazon. Now, again, if they're locked down, I'm not sure Amazon's going to be able to deliver anything or pick anything at their warehouses or anything like that. So it is going to be a right royal mess. But it is what it is. So I mean, our state's just gone into, health and safety have said that if you want to eat at a restaurant, you have to give your name to the restaurant and your telephone number. I'm not sure how happy I feel about that particular thing. Thank you for the subscription in Patchwork, and good morning, welcome to the stream. Oh, we are struggling with this thing. In spite of the fact it's almost 400 horsepower, and I'm not sure this cultivator's particularly demanding. It's quite a big one for... it's not as big as cultivators we've used in the past. Most of the cultivators we've used in the past are Harrows, which disc harrows, which take less horsepower for greater width. But we're working on the achievements at the moment, and cultivating only seems to register with actual cultivators, not with harrows or power harrows or disc harrows. At least it didn't when I tested it out after the game came out. Now, it may be that one of the patches did remedy that, and you do get credit for disc harrowing, but since I'm not aware that that has been fixed, and to do so would involve buying a disc harrow and testing it out. What are we doing with her? So cultivating is, we're at 163, we need to make it to 250, so possibly sometime in spring next year we'll get that done, because we'll be cultivating the other fields later, the ones that had the sugar beets, because we're planting sunflowers in those, and you can't plant that until mid-late spring. So it's mid-fall, day 3. We're only playing 6 days season here, so it's not going to take too long to progress things. I may switch to a 9-day season as we buy more fields, but at this point what we have is sufficient for the ground we have to cover. So I'm not too worried about that right now. Not sure I'm supposed to do that. I'll probably rip all the spiky things off going around corners, but okay. That gives us a chance to work in the Challenger. I've not done a lot of that. Most of my Challenger stuff recently has been under a worker and the class. Because obviously if I'm harvesting, I'm the one that has to cut the grains, not a worker. Is struggling around that corner. There we go. So it's happier in a straight line, which is probably realistic. That's a good hill. I've been playing a bit more on Oakfield, and I'm finding that it's kind of weird. If there was a gate at the entrance to the field, the gate would appear to be the wrong way round, and then as you get it closer and the gates resolve into near vision rather than far vision, distant vision, they'll switch round to the right way. So if the gate opened into the field from long distance, it looks like the gate's opening out into the road, which a little bit sad. It's sort of, it's a distraction. It's not game breaking, but it is a distraction. So I may check in with the guy who did the map and just say, hey, there's this graphical thing that it's not a problem, but it's kind of immersion breaking, if you like. But outside of that, I'm enjoying the map. The Field 6 isn't as badly contoured as Farm Sim 17, where there were just great big valleys in the field that you could not get your equipment into. But it is a horribly non-level field. So you end up driving with your equipment sort of, you could possibly get away with this cultivator, but with a multi sort of head harrow, it works a lot better, because I think the Lemkin 12-metre harrow has 4 sections at the back, but I noticed that one is angled to the left, another's angled to the right, the one in the middle is flat, so the field is going to be horrible to, if you're OCD farming, it's going to be horrible to plant and plough and stuff like that. I did mention on the weekday stream, Ungertheim got updated, and I'm scared to update my copy of it, because it did say there's whole new farmyards and animal yards placed on the map, and frankly I don't want to mess up my game save. I could do something like get to the end of the year, we'll have 3 rounds of crops to sell, write down all of my equipment, my money, my which fields I own and everything else, and then use the easy development tools to set up for a second year with the new map. Or I can just run with what I have, and it's going to be, I think we're only on episode 17 of that particular series, or 18 of that particular series, so potentially the series is only going to go for about 36 episodes anyway. I just go with what I've got, finish out the series with the current save, and possibly right at the end I'll load the new map, and we'll take a look at what changes the map maker made on it. As far as our farm sim is concerned, not a lot going on there. For those of you that play World of Warships, there are 3 promo codes available. I listed them on Discord, so if you want to claim them, go ahead. There's 1 per person, or 1 per account should I say, and they can only be claimed today. Is the last day they can be claimed, and you get a standard resource crate, the sorts of crates that you get for 2,000 experience in a day, and 1 special crate. I think it's a large crate, so 2 crates is not to be sneezed at. I claimed mine. Someone notified that they claimed one of the codes. So as far as I am aware, there's 3 left. Also, World of Warships is doing their early month sort of gifts for just logging into the game. I think there's 10 gifts as usual, and 11 days to claim. So if you log in for the next 11 or 10 days, you'll get a prize, ranging from 50,000 currency, free crates, free camouflages, probably free signals, and I think towards the end they sometimes give away a day of premium time and a 50 gold. A lot of the time when something like that's running, I will just log in, claim the reward for the day, and log out because I don't have time to play. Kind of like Farm Sim. When I break for lunch, I'll log into Farm Sim, check the mod hub, download any mods that interest me, and then log back out again. was up to, but he just got home and now he's going back out again. I'm not even sure he got out of his truck. So this field, as said, we're going to put canola in this field. Field in front of us, sugar beets, so we can't plant those until spring. The two fields that had sugar beets in, it looks like the best crop for rotation there is sunflowers. So we'll be doing that, which is also mid to late spring plant. And then the only other one we've got is the big, I think, field 2, which we'll be planting a cereal crop. Might do barley, I'm not sure. Either wheat or barley. Because having watched Farmer Cop, I think barley actually sells better than wheat. It's generally a lower value crop, but yields more. So it would be, you know, lower value, 95% of the value of wheat, but higher yield, 107%. So you actually make more from it. And it follows the general rules of Farm Sim. Stop doing the bottom bit. The more yield, the more total value there is. So potatoes are an incredibly lucrative crop to do, but you have to invest an absolute ton of time planting them, harvesting them, and that time pays off with, you know, the total value of the crop. Soybeans, on the other hand, don't yield much at all. They're a high value crop, but total value for field area is much less than you would get from the same area of potatoes. In some cases significantly. So we normally group things like wheat and barley together, and we look at the price of wheat and barley and find that, well, barley's less valuable. And let's push that and jump off here. So we look at wheat is 601 to 559, 642 to 556. So wheat is a lot more valuable per litre, per 1,000 litres, but it turns out that barley more than makes up for it, apparently, in the yield. At least that was Farmer Cop's findings. So, barring any other results, and I haven't done the science myself, I'm going to go with his findings. And we're not going to plant potatoes because you really have to invest a lot of time. We invested enough time in the sugar beets, for crying out loud. And that should yield us quite a significant amount of cash over the winter months. Figuring I probably won't bother getting the class out. The Fent needs a service. It's our vehicle in most dire need of a service. I think along with this, I think this cultivator also needs to be serviced. I should probably check on that. Fairly sure this is a Porsche. Probably the only piece of equipment I have on the farm under that brand. I'm not seeing too much trouble with the work rate. So I think equipment starts to degrade around about 40%. I think we're a little bit above that, and degrading of equipment is a lot slower in seasons than it is in regular game. You know, I remember back playing, was it Ravensport, and oh my goodness. Okay, well, I'm going to drop that. Yeah, Horse Tiger 60, I believe. Fendt 822 Turbo Shift is the tractor. Yeah, so this is, it's 2% over the point where it starts to suffer. Yes, and I did that with, what was it, when I played Mercury Farm. I think that was pre-seasons as well. One of the fields was a potato field, and I decided, for a change, rather than ploughing the potatoes, that I'd actually buy the tractor-hauled harvester and harvest them. So I did that, and again with Mercury Farms, the silos there are seriously multi-fruit silos. You can store potatoes, sugar beets, silage, grass, the works. So because of that, I could unload into the silo and then fill the seeder up from the silo. So that's what I did, and it was sort of every round of harvesting, one field would then be planted as potatoes. And I did quite well. I didn't play the farm for